Y'all, this is one of the worst cases of animal abuse I have ever heard of. Can you imagine having 200 cats and dogs all in a small home? Neither can I. How is that even possible? Two women called themselves the Crazy Rescue Ladies, and crazy was right. But what they did was far from rescue these animals. Two ladies from New Jersey were sentenced recently to nearly a year in jail, 364 days to be exact, after they kept approximately 180 cats and dogs in very unsanitary and unhealthy conditions inside their home. 60-year-old Michelle Nix and 51-year-old Amy Lonksack were arrested after the Brick Township Police Department received a report last year to investigate an anonymous complaint about them, quote, running a puppy mill out of their home. Reportedly, when officers entered the home, they smelled a very strong odor coming from the home, and as you can imagine, they just heard a ton of dogs barking. They didn't expect the sight they were about to see. These officers entered the home, and it was said when they first stepped foot inside the home, they detected an intense odor worse than they'd ever smelled and very unsanitary conditions. They also reportedly found animal crates of dogs and cats just stacked one on top of the other around the whole house. And due to the horrible conditions of the home, the officers literally had to exit the house, and then they had to request that a hazmat team respond. It was that bad. How are these women living in this filth and odor? So rescuers in hazmat suits ended up going inside the home, and they rescued 129 dogs and 43 cats that had been living inside the residence. And guess what? They also found 2 dead dogs inside the home. I don't get it. I just don't. The 2 women were arrested and taken into custody at the scene without incident, and they were transported to the Ocean County Jail before they were eventually released on bond. They reportedly did indeed live inside that home, and you can see it's a fairly small home in this picture. 180 animals in this home, okay? Now, according to reports, these 2 women ran a social media page called the Crazy Rescue Ladies, and they described their organization as being a responsible rescue. Yeah, right. They said they saved injured and unwanted street animals. I can assure you, though, that those animals would rather be on the streets than in this mess. They would reportedly take dogs from several states, including Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina. It was said that some of the animals who were rescued from the home were nursed back to health and put up for adoption. I'm not sure what happened to all the others, but I probably don't want to know. In June of this year, the 2 women pleaded guilty to 2 counts of animal cruelty, and Amy also pled guilty to child neglect in connection to this case. So, was there a child in this home? I sure hope not, but there must have been. They were recently sentenced, and each one of them received just under a year behind bars at the Ocean County Jail, which in my opinion, that's not cool. That's not enough time for what they did to these animals. They were sentenced on Friday, August 16th. They were also prohibited from owning any more animals ever again for the rest of their lives, nor can they work with animals, even for community service. I'm so glad all of these sweet fur babies were rescued from their so-called rescuers. I don't see how anyone could even afford to have that many pets. There's no way. And still take care of them properly? Absolutely no way. Authorities said they were also sick and just covered in fleas and mites. Can you imagine what their home smelled and looked like? It's just heartbreaking too for the animals that didn't make it. You all know I'm a huge animal lover. I absolutely love my fur babies. I've got 1 dog and 1 cat, and the cat just had 5 kittens. We just love animals around here. We also have a fish, and I am possibly about to get a new puppy. My fingers are crossed. But anyway, for more true crime, be sure to click the follow button, and don't forget to give my website a visit at www.truecrimewithmegan.com.